Welcome to Cross Yoga. My name is Ria. I'm excited about sharing this slow class with you with the topic of prayer. You might be very familiar with prayer, you might not. The way I believe prayer works is that it's communication. Communication with somebody that knows you, that loves you unconditionally. And prayer can look in many ways, in many forms. You can pray with your mind for things. You can pray without words, maybe just sighing out. We're going to do that also. And you can also do kind of listening prayer, moving meditations as we will be doing on our mat. And also pause throughout the class and invite you to pray for different topics. So this might be a video that you will return to if you like to pray and want to practice this prayer thing if you're new to it. We will begin seated, and I actually found a block. So if you have one of these, bring it along to our class today. You can even sit on it. As you have made your way to the mat, find some sort of comfortable seat and close your eyes. Maybe you move your neck, your head, your shoulders a little bit to release tension you hold before we breathe for just a short moment. Ready to sit still, calm your breath, inhaling and exhaling through your nose if you can. And maybe today you breathe to the side of the ribs and the side of the belly. Try to sense that as you inhale, the expansion of those areas. Like with any communication, there need to be some sort of silence for us to hear what somebody else is saying. And to silence our mind a little bit, to also listen to God. Not that God needs silence to listen to us, that's another thing. But we can calm our minds a little bit through breathing. But maybe also through letting go. Maybe your mind, your emotions are filled with stuff. It's kind of like a blockage in your mind. So I'll invite you as a first prayer to surrender to God or to whatever you believe in by sighing out and putting into words in your own mind what you want to let go of. Feelings, troubles, worries, whatever. If you sense things are being held in your body, you're welcome to shake your wrist, your shoulders. Like you're exhaling it out, like you put it into a basket or into the loving hands of God, and He can hold it. The things that you find heavy, I believe God don't find heavy. He can hold on to it. So you can press pause. And be open to whatever God has to say to us today. Now bring your hands into prayer in front of your chest. And then inhale as you bring your arms up overhead. Exhale, circle arms out to the side. Palms together in front of your chest again as you inhale. And exhale, arms to the side. And continue that a couple of times. Next time your hands are down, you might take a hold of your knees or your thighs and do seated cat-cows. So you bring your spine back, chin towards your chest. You might exhale as you do that. Inhale, bring your chest forward, nose up. And move slow and calm. One more time. And that's the last thing before we move out of the seated posture. Of course, you're welcome to stretch your legs if you feel inclined to do so. We want to open up our hearts to things that are greater or larger than us. In my faith, it's God. It might be something else for you. You can open up your palms like this and maybe think about bring your shoulders a little bit back, chest up, maybe nose up with this open body gesture. You can close your eyes and then just think about God or things that are bigger than you. I remind myself that God is in control, that God has power over the past, the present, and the future. Maybe this is also a time of saying thank you, worship, whatever you want to call it. Setting your minds on our loving God, Jesus and the Holy Spirit. And then you can bring your hands down if you're ready. Remember, you can always pause this recording and spend some more time in each of these areas if you feel so like doing that. Turn around into tabletop and do some free movements. That might include some wrist movements. And then bring your right foot to the top of the mat, so to the right corner of the mat, and then you might bring your block with you. You can stay with this left knee down on the floor if you like that. I like to bring my knee up, and then you can kind of move forward and back, open up the back of your legs. The block can bring the floor closer to you. Now, if you have two blocks, it might be easier. Well, you might just hold on to one edge, the other one on the leg or thigh, whatever you can reach. And be nice to yourself. All right? Don't go to your fullest range of motion. More think about warming up. Moving your joints, your muscles, ligaments. And then step the back foot to the front. You might hold onto the block if the floor is far away as you fold forward. Swaying from side to side. Right hand can reach left elbow. Make sure you relax your head. I'll tell you when you can move out of this. Then you let go of your elbows. Soften your knees, chair pose. And stay in your chair. That can be a high chair, you can go low. And just bring your arms back and to the front. And that is it. A couple of times. Inhale, you might exhale, bring your arms back. Inhale to the front. Keep your spine still. The next time you exhale, fold forward. And then step your right foot to the back. Bring the knee down if you did so before, or keep the knee up. These pyramid poses kind of a thing. Stacking knee over ankle and then moving back. Make it slow and calm. I really think that prayer it's like breath. It's important. And it's not something I think we just do when we feel like we want to do it. But sometimes I at least choose to pray also when I don't feel like it. Sometimes I don't feel like talking to people, but I still do it because I believe it's the right thing to do, right? Step the front foot back, and downward facing dog is the posture we get into. A very small flow sequence. Soften your knees a little bit. Make sure you bend your elbows slightly. Soften in your down dog. And from your down dog, we ease into knees on the floor. Fold your mat or blanket or whatever you need and come up on your knees. Circle the arms out to the side, palms together on top of your head, belly button in. Bring the hands behind your head and open up your chest, a very gentle back bend. Keep hips stacked over the knee joint. Belly button in. Bring your hands down on the floor in front of you. Inhale and then do your cat, bringing the spine up towards the sky. Flatten the spine for a traditional tabletop. Right hand up towards the sky. A little bit of a twist. Thread the needle. Bend the left arm. Bring the right hand underneath the armpit to the side. Back to center, opposite. Threading the needle. Left hand up towards the sky. Mindful, you're still engaging the core. Keeping your hip over your knee. And then bring the shoulder to some degree down. You might not come all the way down. From here, hands further to the front, so you're not in tabletop. I would say tuck the toes under. Bring the knees off the mat and then into your downward facing dog, or kind of a triangled shape. The spine is straight and you might kind of wave your tail a little bit. Let's do that small sequence again. Inhale, bring yourself into a plank, and exhale, knees down. Inhale, circle your arms out to the side on your knees. Bend the elbows, palms together, exhale. Small back bend. Inhale, prepare your tabletop. Exhale, spine up towards the sky. Inhale, flatten your spine, bring the right hand up to thread the needle. Exhale, bring it down the right shoulder. Inhale, bring it back. And exhale, engage the core, flat spine. Left hand, inhale, reach. Exhale, thread the needle. Inhale, bring it back. Exhale, tuck the toes. Inhale, lift up. And bring your feet back and walk your hands back towards the back end of the mat. So you're standing at the back of your mat. Mountain pose. Palms facing forward. And in this posture, I invite you to pray, or if you're like new to prayer, just think about, I believe God hears our thoughts as well, people that you feel like praying for, family members, people you care about, anyone. Just bring their names into your mind and maybe you say, God, help them. Or give them peace or whatever. Slowly open up your eyes again. Lift your right knee up in front, and you can take a hold of your right knee with your left hand. Avoid crossing the knee. You want to keep it just extended out. And now the right hand can come out to the side to kind of help you balance. Stay with this. Gaze forward, or bring the right hand behind you and see if a twist like this is accessible. Move slow. Slowly bring your mind and your gaze back to the front. And lower down the right foot just one step to the front. Bring your hands towards your hip, and then you might find your block. Lean forward, pyramid pose. Kind of shoot the tailbone up and back, and you can take a hold of your thigh and stay here. Nice stretch on the hamstrings. Use a block. Now mine is a little bit far away. All your fingers moving down. Belly button towards the thigh. Notice if the hip kind of moves towards one side, bring it back to center in between your feet. One more breath. Slowly lifting yourself up. Now it's left leg's turn to being lifted up. Right hand doing these two postures on the other side on our path to the front of the mat. The left arm out to the side. Keep yourself as steady as you can here. Standing super tall. Or bring the left hand behind you for this twister rotation in your spine. Maybe your gaze follow. Keep breathing. And bring your attention, your mind back. Step the left foot forward. I keep my feet aligned with the long end of the mat. If you want to pivot the back foot a little bit out to the side, don't worry. Just do that. The feet on train tracks, so I am not in one line with my feet. Lean forward. Again, thigh options, block option. or fingers on the floor. Noticing that you are micro bending your knees. Two more big breaths. Bend both knees. Bring your hands down on the mat in front of your mat. Step the feet back and do a plank on hands, knees, toes. I actually like my plank on elbows today, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Creating some extra heat in our body. Pull the belly button in, elbows down. Noticing that you have strength in your shoulders, even though they might be quivering or shaking a little bit. Two more breaths. Knees down on the mat and bring those knees apart. So right knee to right side, left to left, forehead down, child's pose. You might bring your palms up. For me, this is also a posture of prayer and surrender. And here I'll invite you to pray for or surrender the world. There might be areas of conflict and war. It might be a specific people group that's just always been on your heart that you want to pray for. Just pray in your mind like you would talk to anybody else. And I believe God is listening. Slowly come up on your knees again. You can do a down dog if you feel inclined to do so. You're going to stay with your right knee down on the floor, and you might just stay on your mat as you are. I'm just going to turn for you to see. So right knee down on the floor, and bring the left foot out. If you have knee issues, you can't do this standing on both feet. Then you won't get the leg out, but that's fine. Bring both hands up overhead, engage the core, and lean slowly towards the left leg to the side. Belly button in. And keep breathing. Notice if you're hanging in this left knee or hyperextending it, soften everything a little bit. Might feel if this front thigh is moving out of the alignment of the knee. And keep all of this as you get your spine straight again, or vertical. Bring your elbows back, belly button in, and then maybe you want to lean a little bit towards your right side. This is a core engagement, so really strong engagement. This thigh and knee stays. It's not moving anywhere. Maybe the pelvic floor needs a little bit of attention as well. And bring it back. Don't want to stay there for too long. If you feel your knees in a discomfort, make sure you fold your mat at least, or extra padding somehow, whatever blanket you have or something like that. Right leg out to the side, arms up overhead, noticing that they're not moved to the side. Belly button in and lean towards the right side. Still breathing. One more breath. Rise up, hands behind your head, and you can also focus on bringing those elbows really far apart, especially if you know you're not going to go too much out to the side. Just bring the elbows back and engage the shoulders instead. But if you can, lean a little bit to your left side. Not hanging in your joints, using the core to keep your steady holding on against gravity. Let go. Get yourself out of this posture, and then your downward facing dog. Shaking things out. And then take a seat. Feet to the top of your mat to bring your block with you, just so you have it nearby. Just 2 more kind of warming postures. Boat pose. Bring the shoulders back. Option of sitting pretty tall, engage the core, or lean further back. Bring your hands to the front. If you want more, the heels off. Feel that there is space in front of your chest and you can breathe. When you're here, I hope this is a little bit like moving meditation. We're not moving like that, but we're breathing. And your mind kind of is not anywhere but just here in the present moment. And we so benefit from that. Calms the mind for this communication we might have with God. Ooh, bring the feet down and then come down on your back, knees bent. Bring your block. Of course, you can do this without the block, but you can try to bring the block on the lowest height in between your thighs. I am just above my knee joint, so I don't have the block here in my groins. I don't feel that's comfortable. Feet somewhat close to the hip, and keep the feet same space apart as the knees. Squeeze the block. Belly button in, and then lift the hip up for a bridge pose with the block. You can stay here if your shoulders are okay. Kind of walk the shoulders in towards each other. Maybe the hands grasp underneath, or just hold onto the mat if not. Keep squeezing. Hope you feel that you're getting nice and warm. Feeling the back of the thigh, the hip, your inner thighs. Get nice and tired. 2 more breaths. Slowly walk your shoulders out. Roll down. Release the block. Bring your feet to the edge of the mat on each side of the mat and windshield wipe your legs. This was an active back bend. We can do a more passive back bend. If you know your spine and this block is too hard or too big, you can use a blanket or a bolster or something else. We're gonna lift the hip one more time, but this time bring the block under. We're not on the sacrum. We're not down too low, and we're not in the lumbar part of the spine. That is not good for your spine, but kind of on this area, the SI joint, if that rings a bell to you. I like mine on the second height. If I'm gonna stay here for a little bit, you can keep your knees bent. If you want to go on the highest height, it's also an option. I like that for my lower part of my back. Then I keep my feet bent or my legs bent. Bring your arms out to the side. Stay here for a couple of breaths. And if you can focus, you might not, but if you can, you are welcome to spend a few moments. Maybe there is prayers on your heart concerning things in your life, your job or your yoga practice or something like that you want to say, ask for wisdom or light or maybe God's will into. So things that you want to pray for concerning your life. Slowly come back with your mind. Lift the hip up and move the block away. Bring the hip down and hug your knees. Make sure the spine is flat on the floor when you hug your knees. I really want to finish this class with a little bit of rest and just quiet time for us to listen. Now we have communicated with prayers. Now it is time for us to be more still. Before resting completely, you might do butterfly feet together, knees out. We won't be here for that long. But I just want to say that I try in my life to be quiet and listen to God at least once in a while. It's not often I hear God speak like voices or stuff like that. But I might come up with an idea or somebody pops into my mind or stuff like that might happen. For me to listen to God, I was on this retreat day, Saturday, and there was this ball kind of a thing with the scriptures, different scripture verses on it, and I just went there to pick one up, and that really spoke to me, and that's for me also a way that God can speak through reading the Bible. So that might also be something you want to try out if you're not familiar with it, maybe after this. Bring your knees in, extend your legs out for just a few minutes of rest, softening your legs, arms down on the floor, pinky finger towards the thigh. And maybe you say, God, I'm ready to listen. Just be present with your breath, as calm as you can. And then I hope that you are ready to finish this class. If you're not, always press pause. As you move your fingers or get ready to move, I just want to say a short prayer. God, thank you for listening to me. Help me to listen to you throughout my day, your wisdom, your love, and knowledge. Amen. And if you're ready to take a seat, slowly do so. How wonderful to spend this time of prayer with you. May God bless you and keep you from my heart to yours.